a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome, welcome. Hi, Margi. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
I'm not sure yet.
I know. We're coming in here fast and furious today, so it's kind of take a deep breath and woosah into community-centered.
Oh, well, let's get centered.
Yes, let's get centered for sure. How are you?
I'm good. It's been an interesting past week. It was a busy one, wasn't it?
We had a lot of community activities and events to be at, and it feels like 2 days last week where we were full time at doing this thing out in the community. So yeah, what was your impression of the events we attended?
Well, the nonprofit one, and I think that was the day of the tremendous rain.
Absolutely.
That was just unbelievable. It was great to see all the other nonprofits there, but nobody came.
Yeah, it was a torrential rain, and they had to change the venue, so we were inside the old Total Wine building. Like, who knew that was available?
I know,
This great
I know,
big
and that
space.
was kind of a depressing
That
place
was.
too.
But whenever I go to these things, I always find a new nonprofit. I always seek out someone new that I've never met before, and when I meet them, I love to learn about ways that we can partner or refer them to
Yes.
somebody. Or I think there were a couple of people when they walked by said, "Oh, my friend Margie over there with little smiles. Are you aware of what she does?" And so it's always a great opportunity to advocate for each other.
I was impressed with two companies there, which I didn't know about. One was books that they have a big, huge truck,
Oh yeah, that was cool.
and they will go, and for adults and children, they just go and take what they want.
Very cool.
So I think I'm going to get them to go to Jeff Gordon and Levine's
Nice.
and let the nurses and kids and moms,
Lovely.
go and pick out some books because
They are a mobile library.
yes, they are.
And I think that's a very cool thing.
But you don't have to return the book.
No, it's yours to keep.
It's yours.
What a concept, right?
Yeah, which I thought was wonderful. I really appreciated that.
I did
one.
too, and I thought we could have them come to Hope House too, because I thought the kids would really get a
They
kick
would
out of
love
that.
that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the other one was the company, and I wish I could remember their names too, that were into technology, could get you a recycled computer.
So that is E2 Divide.
That's right.
Eliminate the Digital Divide, started by Pat Mullen. His interesting non-for-profit. His daughter was in, I think, 8th grade, and she had like a lemonade stand or something, and raised some money. And Pat said, "What do you want to do with it?" And she said, "Dad, there's kids in my class that don't have any laptops or any technology." And I said, "Well, that's going to take a little bit more than a lemonade stand." But what he did was, this is a great story. He went to his friends at Lowe's over the weekend. You know how you got a guy at Lowe's? You're in Lowe's and you're like, "Where's that guy that can help me find the light bulb or find the screw?" So we had a guy at Lowe's, and he told him the lemonade story about his daughter. And he said, "You know what? Give me a call on Monday." And so by Monday, the guy reached back out to him at Lowe's. He had contacted the corporate offices, and he had 500 laptops donated.
Oh my gosh.
So Pat built his non-for-profit off of that, and he has a lot of young technology students at Davidson College and at the local high schools that help him repair and refurbish them. And they go into the community, and they seek out communities where children and adults don't have access to that, and they make that happen.
And Little Smiles probably goes through at least 75 to 80 laptops.
So you need to partner with him. Definitely.
month.
You should
Yeah.
definitely partner with them.
So I took their card, and I need to get back in touch with them.
It's an easy process to get connected with them, and they have marvelous resources for those. They're even at one point, I think they received some funding where they could actually pay for the internet
Wow.
in some of these areas of our community that didn't have it.
Well, and he said if something goes wrong with the computer, we just give them a brand new one.
Yeah. So they're E2 Divide.
Yeah.
So they're called
I've got
Eliminate the
their card.
Digital Divide. Pat Mullen, give him a call. He's a great guy. He's got a great
Okay.
mission. And it's a win-win because he's putting young, brilliant students to work,
Yeah.
working on something where that gives them a good hobby and a good
Yeah.
outlet.
Well, and Cool Kids Clubhouse. I mean, we have
Yeah.
done tons of stuff with them.
Absolutely. We've said this, probably we say it every time we're on the air, that we live in a community of really generous people as well as really marvelous people that have great ideas for nonprofits and how to build that community. And I think, we were just talking before the show about how everybody is so negative and they just want to fight and everybody's got a chip on their shoulder. It's so great to come in here and talk to you and remind ourselves that there are great people doing
That's
good
right.
things.
That's right. Well, I was telling you the story. I went to get something approved for where I live, and she said, "I'm not going to argue with you." And I went,
I didn't think I was.
I came in and I said, "Here's my new idea."
Yeah. Happy, joy. See my joyful expression. It gets harder and harder to be joyful and hopeful. It really does.
But, people, and then at the chamber,
that was great.
women's group, the last thing they did was give that book out
Mm-hmm.
to journal about gratitude.
Isn't that great?
And I think if everybody would do that.
Yes. We
You
have
have
that
to
book.
find something every day that you're grateful for.
We tell that to our Hope House families. We say, I don't care if you say, gosh, I got my fingernails painted and they're red. That looks great. That's something to be happy
That's
about.
right.
Or I got a good parking spot today when I was running into the Harris Teeter and running late. Whatever it is, find something to be joyful and hopeful about.
Yeah.
And then give that away. Spread that to someone else. And, there's so many people that are struggling right now. And to just offer your hope or your joy to someone would be just a grateful thing. So we have a guest today who hopefully is going to call in, and we're going to hear a little bit about his story and about his business and his mission in the Lake Norman and Charlotte area. And I'm excited to talk to him. I'm hungry. I probably should have eaten before we talked to him because he's a caterer. And maybe
I think I sat with him at the chamber conference.
You and I were the only two tables that had the only men at the Lake Norman Women's Expo at it. We had two gentlemen from they're called the Window Hero, AJ and Garrett, and Garrett's been a longtime friend and supporter of the Hope House since Beds for Kids days, and so to sit with him, he was a new dad.
Yeah,
he has a 2-week-old baby and a 2-year-old at home, and he's like, remind me again, why am I here? He said, I learned a lot of stuff, especially from that pelvic therapy.
Oh, that was unbelievable.
I think he's redhead and he turns 50 shades of red. So we were delighted to be there. And I think next year WSIC needs to get a sponsorship there or a table or be a part of it. That was a room full of about 150 energetic, estrogen-filled women that had a lot of great ideas and a lot of momentum. And there was a lot of connectiveness there.
Yeah.
And I think... we do that really well in our community. And
we do. And somebody else was commenting from out of town that how much we all network together.
How much fun we have.
Yeah.
Well, now that WSIC is mobile and they have a mobile van, there is no reason why they couldn't have showed up there and done a little remote streaming there live. I'm going to have to talk to a few people about that because what a great opportunity for them too to show off their new wheels.
Yeah.
Instead of driving around the Coca-Cola 500 track, they could be spreading some joy right here in our Lake Norman area. So we're getting ready to go to a break, and when we get back from a break, Margie and I are hopefully going to be talking with our guest. If not, we're freestyling it.
More informative discussion about people and groups doing good in our community coming up. It's Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC.
We'll stay dry today around Lake Norman, but starting to turn the heat up as we go throughout the rest of this week. Under plenty of sunshine today, high temperatures climb into the mid-80s for this afternoon. Mostly clear, mild with low to mid-60s overnight. For our Wednesday, we start to climb into those upper 80s, even approaching 90, adding some humidity in later this weekend. As pop-up thunderstorm chances making a return for most of the afternoons, too. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like iCats Public Transit.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live in Mooresville offers up free music on Thursday, May 23rd with a performance by area favorite and Carolina's premier rock and roll cover band, Black Glass. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert powered by Waves Entertainment beginning at 7. Friday is Live Under the Oaks at Brookdale Village in Huntersville. Justin Minton's solo music performance of rock, R&B, and soul begins at 6 p.m. Grab your chairs and head to the Brookdale stage on Friday night for free music by Justin Minton. The Charlotte Motor Speedway has high-speed NASCAR racing for Memorial Day weekend. On Friday, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series holds the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. The ARCA Series is also in action on Friday with the General Tire 150. On Saturday, the NASCAR Cup Series holds their qualifying session, and the Xfinity Series races in the Bet MGM 300. Sunday, the NASCAR Cup Series competes in one of their crown jewels, the 65th running of the Coca-Cola 600. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for tickets and information. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Philip Hamrick on Friday, May 31st for his album release celebration. The singer-songwriter from Mooresville releases his first solo album as an independent artist with The Tunnel Club. Hamrick's personal stories are delivered through vocals and acoustics. Doors open at 7 p.m. with Hamrick's The Tunnel Club album release celebration at 8 p.m. on Friday, May 31st. For tickets, more information on this show and many other programs, visit CaneArts.org. That's C-A-I-N Arts.org. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Call 844-STUDIO-4 now to join the community-centered discussion with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, listeners. You're listening to Community Centered. I'm your host, Debbie O'Hanley, and my friend Margie is our hostess as well. I am excited to introduce you to a gentleman in our community who reached out to me a little while ago at the Hope House, saying that he owned a catering company, Uptown Charlotte, but yet he lived in the Lake Norman, Huntersville area. He wanted to know if he could come by the Hope House and introduce himself and drop off some goodies. So if I'm going to hold him to that, because we hold ourselves to be calling the House of Carbs for sure. But lovely gentleman, and I believe he might have been sitting with you at your table at the Women's Expo.
I want to tell him to come to the Kyle house
Yeah.
too.
Margie. So, Shai, are you with us?
I sure am. It's myself, and we've got Michelle Hoffman, which is our assistant general manager.
Hello, Michelle. Welcome to Community Centered. We're delighted to have you here with us. We want to know and learn everything that we possibly can about Uptown Catering. So why don't you start off with just a little intro on yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. Michelle, you want to start?
Certainly. Well, my name is Michelle. So I've been here with Uptown Catering almost 2 years. Been doing most of their client services and working with community and going on events and helping to put those menus together for our chefs here as we do custom catering for a lot of corporate clients near Uptown.
Awesome.
Yep, and for me, so my name is Cheyhene Miller, and I'm originally from upstate New York, so please don't hold that against me. I went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York, worked as a chef for some period of time before I sold out to the banking industry and became a banker for an extended period of time, and then just this opportunity of Uptown Catering Company, which, by the way, has been around since 1987.
Wow.
The previous owner... Yeah, the previous owner here, his name was Mike. He did a phenomenal job. He had 4 delis initially here in Charlotte and then transferred. So you know what? Him and the wife talked about just trying to do something a little bit different, but with the deli concept. And so between the Mediterranean, the French cuisine, the Italian, with a little splash of Asian, there's a wonderful experience here for specifically corporate catering. So that we do weddings, events, and banquets and receptions, but the real focus has been on the corporate catering. So we do a lot. Debbie and I, we talked a little bit about CMPD, City of Charlotte, the fire department, and so without saying too much, I would just simply say one of the things that attracted me, Debbie and team, about this catering company was one of the things the previous owner, Mike, did was he had this outstanding rule with the City of Charlotte Fire Department, Police Department, and EMS that, God forbid, something were to happen where an officer is down, that we would take care of the food for the family. And so that's
beautiful.
something that I was excited about. Me being a prior, I was in the Marines for a number of years, and nothing better to know as serving your country than to know that somebody's got your family's back.
Yes.
If you're not there.
Margie and I talk all the time on this show, Shai, about the generosity in our community and how people come together. And even when there's a tragic situation, that folks just feel the need to give back and reach out. And I want to commend you for doing that for our first responders, because we've done a lot of what they call CIT training at Hope House, which is crisis intervention training, to our CMPD police force, sheriff's department, and undercover detectives. And that is a hard job. And what crisis intervention training does is it teaches them how to be a little bit more aware of some mental health obstacles and things like that, and bring some resources to the forefront. So that's hard work. And every time that they do the training, we do one at Hope House, and we need to feed them, only because we feel we need to do that as our civic duty to give back to them who is working so hard. So now that I know you, we will be calling you to help us out with that, because that's a big deal. And that's a really important thing that everyone is doing in our community, is recognizing the hard work of our boys in blue. So thank you for that. So tell me, being from upstate New York, tell me, do you beef on wick? Can you make a beef on wick? Nobody around here is making anything like that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
What do they call it in upstate New York? The roast beef sandwich that's on like a hard roll that has caraway seeds and kosher salt on it.
Oh my goodness, I don't know, because that was more of the deli scene. Now I will say we've got the Ross's Deli. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah,
in upstate New York, but that I could find out for you. That's a question I don't know the answer.
They call that beef on wick. And that's yes. So you're gonna have to bring that back, because there's a lot of friends that I have from upstate New York who are saying, "Oh, we miss so many things, but we miss that sandwich." And trust me, I don't really hardly know what it is. So we're gonna have to resurrect that or come up with something creative for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll have to make you part of our menu creation team.
There you go. Listen, I told Margie
Well, I'll tell you. If he gets to put that on there, I get to put banana sandwiches. Okay, some southern, back home picnic sandwiches, 1 for 1.
A banana. What
That
is
sounds gross.
Okay, Michelle, what is a banana sandwich? Margie is not from here, and neither am I. So you have to tell us what's let me guess. Is it peanut butter
I
and
was
banana?
going to say, I love peanut butter and banana with a little bit of honey on it.
On white bread?
When we come to visit, we'll just have a little sample. If you don't like them, I'll take them back.
Okay. Well, that's game on. You heard it here, folks. We're going to be sampling some.
Are you in a different area than Debbie? Because Debbie, I was going to stop by tomorrow morning, if that works for you, with some sweets for your team.
Sure, that would be wonderful. Margie, we'll get I know where Margie lives, so I can always bring one to her. And I know Bill and Justin here are probably frothing at the mouth I just got the thumbs up from him. So we'll have to make sure that we take care of them as well. But thank you for that. So tell us, why catering, Shai? Why did you want to get into
from
that?
banking,
Yeah, that's a
which
stretch.
is a number game, to something that's so creative. I had a catering business in San Francisco for a couple of years, and it is a ton of work.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's a lot of work, and we're busy, but we love it. I mean, coming from being a chef, I like being busy. I never liked just sitting around, kind of looking at the computer, waiting. But more importantly, and I come from an Italian background. So my mother, grandmother, I grew up around Italian women. They were always in the kitchen cooking. Now, if you look at me, for those that have met me, I look like I'm Cuban, but I'm not. But I'm Italian. I'm Italian.
Okay.
So my point is, though, mother and grandmother said to me, Cheyhene, what are you going to do for college? I don't know. Well, Cheyhene, the fastest way to a woman's heart is through her stomach.
Amen. Amen, brother.
I thought it was the other way around.
I know.
Universal. There you go. Yeah, it's universal.
So, ladies, that's why I got into it initially. Was I just really wanted to learn how to, I was already in the kitchen. I enjoyed the kitchen, but I also really enjoy the expression when people have really good quality sourced food. And so, to me, to hear all of this feedback that we get in regards to what we're doing for the city, state, and corporate events, to build those friendships, those relationships, to hear about feedback, things we could be improving, all of that to me kind of tells into, well, the banking part, how does that correlate? Well, the banking is all about continuous improvement, right?
Sure. So
this is just an add to that, which is, giving people something that they can feel good about. They eat and it makes them feel good. Like we can start describing food, and you know how you start salivating a little bit. I think we talked about that at the women's event, right, this past week. So same thing. It's like having people express themselves through food and conversation. To me, is amazing.
Food is the one thing that brings everybody together.
It sure does.
Regardless of anything. Even during COVID, we had some generous folks that were dropping off meals for our families thinking that they couldn't get out. And I mean, just the fact that people would think of us while our community was going through a crisis was astounding to me. And I know Wes Choplin was also out there feeding a lot of non-for-profits and folks in our community then.
And he's going to be one of our guests too.
Awesome. So food is the universal language, right? We all love food. I mean, you said Italian, and my mouth was already, I was like, oh my goodness, my neighbor is an amazing Italian cook. And she did a little thing at her house the other night and introduced us to the world of chicken meatball piccata. Put it on the menu, Shy. It was life-changing. Well, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you were here today, you would get, what, chicken parm? Is that what we're pushing out right now?
Yeah.
So we've got some chicken parm going out right now. It's not,
do you want our address?
Yeah, I'm going to have to give Bill the heads up. That gurgling noise you'll hear is my tummy thinking about chicken parm and other good Italian dishes for sure. But we're going to go take a station break here in about a minute. But when we get back, I want to hear about some of your favorite things to cook, maybe some favorite events that you've done or some other ways. And please make sure that you, when we come back, sharing your information for our listeners. They want to know how to get in touch with you and, Michelle, how that might happen. We would love to be able to share that with our listeners today. They can always, listen to us on WSIC app that we have. We're streaming live now on all of the good social media platforms. So this will live on in infamy, Shy. So make sure that you're letting all of our listeners know all that good information when we get back.
And I hope
from our
you'll
break.
share one little secret that will make a difference in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one little secret that'll make a difference in all of you.
Well, you have time to think about that. Yeah, you have time to think about that because we're going to take a station break here while we hear from our sponsors and a few other things. But when we get back, we're talking with Cheyenne Miller and Michelle. I didn't catch your last name.
It's Hoffman.
Hoffman with Uptown Catering. And we're going to get all their contact information when we come back from our station break. So, folks, you are listening to Community Centered. I'm your host, Debbie O'Hanley, with my hostess, Margi Kyle from Little Smiles, putting smiles on people's faces.
Yep.
Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Hey, Shy, can you still hear me?
I sure can.
All right, cool deal. I'm going to turn up these commercials for our live stream audience, and I'm going to throw you on mute for just a little bit. But then whenever we get back, we'll unmute, and you'll know. You got about 3 minutes.
How much?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay.
All right, so just sit tight for me. We will come back for you.
All right, will do.
Yep, thanks, man.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Are you in constant pain, under constant stress? Just need a moment away? Repeat after me. Serenity Now Massage Therapy. SerenityNowMassageandWellness.com with locations in Mooresville and Cornelius.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The nation's biggest department store chain is alive and well. Macy's reporting an earnings beat last quarter thanks to a boost in sales and after closing 150 underperforming stores. It also updated others with new upscale products, new displays, and customer experiences. It even raised its full-year outlook. Right now, shares of Macy's up over 2%. Elsewhere on Wall Street, stocks aren't moving a whole lot today. That's ahead of earnings tomorrow from computer chip maker NVIDIA. Right now, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P all up a very small fraction. Cable giant Comcast revealing their rather affordable price for its first-ever streaming TV bundle. $15 a month for Netflix, Apple TV Plus, and its own Peacock service. But it's only available to Comcast Xfinity cable TV or broadband customers. And the fast food breakfast wars heating up again. Wendy's now selling a $3 breakfast burrito, and you can bet some of the other chains are about to join the fight. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Call now to speak with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle at 844-STUDIO-4. It's community-centered on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, and please, we would love to hear from you. 844-STUDIO-4. We welcome call-ins anytime, and we are talking to Uptown Catering, Cheyhene and Michelle. And I had a catering company for 2 years in San Francisco, and I'll never forget the night I walked away thinking, I will never do this again. I am calling for reservations. It was, well, I had a party for 150 people, and it was too much. So is anything too big for you or anything too small?
This is Michelle. I don't think so. I came from a background in healthcare and big physician organizations. My time here, just the seamlessness of our service and how we put the food together, really 50, 300, 500, it's a science. I just love it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
We have have such a way of presenting and putting it together that I'm not scared that when we get an order of 500 for, an event buffet
Well, that's good to know.
at all. It's
Yeah.
more fun for us because it keeps it, we've got the whole system to keep it hot and pretty for everybody.
Are you
So,
often trying to invent, recreate new things to try different, types of food?
absolutely.
Yeah. And that to me was what was so interesting and fun.
Well, we have some very perhaps over the past couple of years, just some dynamic new lifestyle menus. Recently, we did a German theme menu, and it really excited me helping put it together. And our chef and with the client, chicken schnitzel, making it gluten free. Putting vegan proteins in there. Me personally, I've never had purple cabbage. And some of the things that they put together, but our chef did an amazing job, and the client loved it. And
Oh,
we
that's
had fun
fun.
putting that together.
Yeah.
So do you
Yes.
only have one chef, Michelle, that works with you, or are there several, or how does that work?
We do have one chef in charge, but we have multiple sous chefs and prep cooks. And then, of course, our former owner was an executive chef and left a legacy of his knowledge. And each of us actually are great personal cooks at home. I can't put it on my resume, but our chef is very patient with us in taste testings, and we give our input where it can be.
I think we were talking earlier about COVID. I think one of the things that COVID did was sort of reignite some folks in the culinary
Yeah.
expertise and cooking, because that was one thing we could do, right? And one avenue where we could express ourselves and bring people together and be creative. So I think that, ignited a lot of folks in, I think, the meal prepping thing and all of that good stuff. I know there's some rages right now I'm following on some cooking things that I follow, of like the cottage cheese pizzas and, all the amazing things that you can do with cottage cheese. Who knew that you
And
could make egg
cauliflower.
Yes, and cauliflower. So, what are what are some of your favorite things to do?
To be very transparent, I am not in the kitchen much.
Okay.
I probably eat out now more than I should, But when I do cook, it's because, I have friends and family that are saying, hey, Shy, would you mind, coming in? I'm going to have a barbecue, or I'm going to have this or that. Would you mind just coming in, could you man the grill for me? Or, or inviting people over, we'll have, Sam and myself. Well, here's the thing, ladies. I am very much of a, let's all go to the kitchen together and let's have fun, right? Let's have fun. Like, what do you want to cook together? What do you want to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I am into the family aspect of cooking. So, putting on the radio, I like to dance a little bit. So, putting on some music that you can move. But I think you asked a question a little bit earlier, and I'm sorry, I apologize if it was Margie or Debbie that asked, but, what's a life lesson from this? And, Michelle had a really excellent point, which is cooking tends to make you present. You can't be doing a whole bunch of other things if you're chopping something.
You mean
or
you
you're
can't check your
flipping or
TikTok account while you're chopping some onion or whatever else it is? That is a excellent point. You are so right. I love that. Great point.
yeah.
That's, like we said before, food brings people together. And I
Yeah.
love that people can put their phones down for a minute. Everybody's being introduced into this amazing world of AI, artificial intelligence, and all of the stuff that's out there. But I follow Brene Brown, and she calls it artificial intimacy. Artificial intimacy. Isn't that something where we're just losing touch with each other? Where, cooking is one way where we can
Yes.
put the phones down and actually talk to each other and have an opinion and express ourselves and come up with a creative product in the end that we can all enjoy. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Well, and I always had the attitude too. I mean, if we have to eat 3 times a day, which a lot of us have to and need to, you better enjoy it. And I used to when I would be cooking a dinner with the kids, pretend that we were doing a TV show.
Oh,
And the
fun.
spatula was the mic.
Yep.
And they each child had to come up with something they wanted to cook. And to this day, they still love cooking.
You know, we did that with our kids, and I actually raised one child, my son, who is a wonderful chef. He's actually had some opportunities, but he would never do it as a career.
Right.
So he does like the main entree, and then my daughter is a lovely baker. So I got the best of both worlds for on my end of things. And if I was smart, I'd sit back and relax and let them take over.
Well, and my son, who is a very good cook as well, and he said to me the other night, I went over there for dinner, and he said, I can't thank you enough for teaching me how to do this and to enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my husband, Shai, is headed into retirement, and he has all the toys in the backyard, the smoker, the green egg, the grill. So I'm hoping his new hobby of cooking different meats and things will keep us entertained. Otherwise, I'm in big trouble because I'm not sure what we're going to do. But
Okay, well, a good idea might be to just start dropping some hints, like just start picking up a rack of lamb or some barbecue, like things to barbecue for. Like start picking up things for him that is like, oh, if I don't cook this is going to go to waste. He won't have a choice, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's hard when you cook for a family to go down to two, and I know, Margie, you said that before, one. That's really a challenge.
It is.
To be
It's
able
just
to
not
do that.
fun.
And I think it's probably equally as hard to cook for a few people as it might be 500 people.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like there's an actual science and a mathematical equation to all of this, isn't there, Shai?
There is, and I kind of want to circle back to what I said earlier, which is to have fun, because in my experience, even to this day, it's easy to maybe want to get a little bit anxious. And oh my God, I got to make sure this is this temperature, or this is this flavor, or this. Like you can become anxious about it, but when you take some breaths and just become present and realize, like, hey, I'm just having fun here. Like this is gonna be fine, right? We're gonna do great. I know what I'm doing. It's like that self-talk to yourself that everything's gonna be fine. And I just say that only because even I'm home sometimes cooking, and I'll have people over, and I want to make sure, like. How is it I own a catering company, but I burnt the salmon? I don't want to have that. Right?
I hate it when the oven catches on fire.
That's not a good look for you, for sure. Oh my goodness. Well, and with the dawn of all these new gadgets, right? The air fryer, the Instapot, all of this stuff, it's a whole new way of cooking in a fast-paced world of the society that we live in now, post-COVID, for sure. Believe it or not, this time is flying, and we're going to go to another station break here in a minute. But Michelle, what words of wisdom in a minute can you pass on to us and our listeners?
Words of wisdom in a minute. Well, I'll continue to echo staying in the present. When it comes to work, particularly my experience working for a catering company, it wasn't something I started out to do, but I am blessed to do it because it definitely is a focus on what I like to do and the service that I'm providing. And my natural growing up with grandmothers and aunts and just being in that big kitchen and big reunions, little did I know it that I'm a really good fit here. So I would say to everyone, that follow your heart when it comes to what you want to do in life.
Absolutely. Well, we're literally going to come back from break here in about 30 seconds. But when we come back, let's make sure that we share with our listeners all of your contact information on how we can get in touch with you. And maybe you can talk about some of the exciting events you have coming up here in the near future, because I know that...
give us one little secret.
Oh yeah, Margie's into the big secrets here. That's how we make hope happen in our community. So when we come back in about seven seconds, we're looking forward to talking with you again.
Okay, sounds good.
There's more Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Staying dry today around Lake Norman, but starting to turn the heat up as we go.
Shy, Michelle. All right, still got you guys? All right, cool deal. About 2.5 minutes, and we'll be back for our last segment, all right? You guys are doing great.
Okay, sounds
Yep, I'd offer you some water, but obviously we're not.
That's all right, we're good.
All right, cool deal. I'm going to keep you guys muted till then, all right?
All right, perfect.
Forecast for the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live in Mooresville offers up free music on Thursday, May 23rd with a performance by area favorite and Carolina's premier rock and roll cover band, Black Glass. Event time is 6:30 p.m. with the concert powered by Waves Entertainment beginning at 7. Friday is Live Under the Oaks at Brookdale Village in Huntersville. Justin Minton's solo music performance of rock, R&B, and soul begins at 6 p.m. Grab your chairs and head to the Brookdale stage on Friday night for free music by Justin Minton. The Charlotte Motor Speedway has high-speed NASCAR racing for Memorial Day weekend. On Friday, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series holds the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. The ARCA Series is also in action on Friday with the General Tire 150. On Saturday, the NASCAR Cup Series holds their qualifying session, and the Xfinity Series races in the Bet MGM 300. Sunday, the NASCAR Cup Series competes in one of their crown jewels, the 65th running of the Coca-Cola 600. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for tickets and information. The Kane Center for the Arts welcomes Philip Hamrick on Friday, May 31st for his album release celebration. The singer-songwriter from Mooresville releases his first solo album as an independent artist with The Tunnel Club. Hamrick's personal stories are delivered through vocals and acoustics. Doors open at 7 p.m. with Hamrick's The Tunnel Club album release celebration at 8 p.m. on Friday, May 30th. For more information on this show and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAINarts.org. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Now, more community-centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back, listeners. You're listening to Community Centered, and we have our guests, Cheyhene Miller and Michelle Hoffman with Uptown Catering that we are talking to today and having a little bit of fun with them. So, Margie's hot on the tail of your secrets.
Yeah,
What's the secret?
We want a secret. Just one little secret.
You want the secret first?
Yeah, give us a secret.
You want the Sure. So it's really not a secret, but it's pretty simple. You ever heard the term mise en place?
Yes.
Yes. So mise en place means things in place. And we just had a sous chef, I think it was just yesterday, that, I saw him out there, looking.
Very good
and
tip.
The experience is going to be a much better one than, oh my God, this is going on and I need this right away.
Yeah, because lately I seem to be all over the place.
Back in the day, you probably remember Iron Chef, but we were young and in a neighborhood of some fairly active folks who wanted to play Iron Chef. So we were all as couples assigned to bring mystery items to a meal, and we all had to create a meal with all these different mystery items. That's what I was thinking of, all of these different items that were in front of us. And actually, it was kind of fun. We got creative and did some crazy and wild things. That was back in the day when we actually talked to each other instead of like texting with each other, for sure. But, well, how would someone, Michelle, get in touch with you if they were interested in talking to you about catering?
We have general emails, our main phone number. So I typically will take intake orders that way over the phone.
Okay.
And then we have generic or email call in. If not me, then our general manager is here. Anyone can kind of take general information, but we do call everyone back and want to know specific arrangements, things that they may like differently, not just, hey, you want that menu item, and deliver it. We usually spend a good amount of time making sure that we have all the details that they need and want. Because typically it's more than the meal, it's the service and the presentation with our delivery and the setup.
Lovely. Now, I think we're getting into wedding season, aren't we, Margie?
Yes.
It seems to be the time of year that we're coming into. Are weddings still a big deal? Are people, my daughter got married a couple of years ago during post-COVID sort of, and they called it the tiny wedding in DC. So we were able to just have immediate family, and I kind of miss not having that experience of being able to
Yes.
plan a meal
Yeah.
for 250 people. However, I do that, planning a gala at Hope House, so I'm okay with that. But we're in the season, right? And what do
We're
you
definitely in the beginning.
what are you seeing that some of the new and different things? Are people doing a smash burger bar? Are they doing I saw something the other day where it was this like vat of macaroni and cheese, and then they had all these sides that you could put in your mac and cheese. They had lobster, they had bacon, and I thought, "Oh my Lord, a mac and cheese bar. Like what have I done wrong all my life?" But are you seeing different things like that, or is things still pretty much standard?
We are, we are, we are seeing, I think, less about the food choices and really more since I've been here. People really are gathering, kind of recovered, if you will, from that pandemic. Not having everybody and a whole lot of people in the same place. Because we've got a lot of barbecues set up, birthday, family reunions, things that we're doing on the weekends. A lot of corporate things are having their after five meet and greets with their employees and their clients. So we're seeing a lot more celebratory events. Some wedding receptions thus far. We are in the South. Not a lot of them are outdoor or planned at this time of year. We actually did a lot of them in the fall,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not.
So you're making a lot of banana sandwiches.
They won't let me put that on the menu, or send it to a bridal shower because we do those things. That just kind of has to stay for my personal diners.
There you go. That sounds exciting. Well, you know what? There is something to be said about that, right? Like post COVID, we're all wanting to like party again and get
Yeah.
back out there and share a meal together. I mean, meals are fellowship, food. We've talked about it, bringing people together. I mean, I could see how it could be really an exciting business to be in.
It is. It absolutely is. I think again, the probably to me the most exciting thing is to recognize that these whoever and well, let me just say this: the two things that Uptown Catering Company is known for is its service and its quality food.
Okay, good.
Service is in the sense of personalized, very personalized service. So getting to know our clientels intimately, and so that they know that we do actually not just want to give them quality food, but we care about them. We have long discussions about what it is that they want, their preferences. Michelle told you whether it's gluten-free or, most of our things are fresh. As an example, we're looking at hiring a pastry chef who just graduated not too long ago from Johnson & Wales and has some amazing things that she's creating. So, again, just sourcing and creating quality food and melding that together with service that our clientele are looking for.
So the name Uptown Catering, does that mean that you primarily serve just the Uptown area, or do you come out to this Lake Norman area, or what about that, Shy?
That's a great question. So, we have currently 6 vans. I've been driving one instead of my car every day out there. I live in Huntersville, so I'm out there in Huntersville back and forth because really we weren't out that way. With me taking over the company, this has really been a Charlotte base. There are a few things that have been done in, I think maybe a couple things in the Lake Norman area, Concord, Fort Mill, but mainly around this Charlotte bubble. And so I'm excited to be able to be part of the growth out towards the lake.
That would be awesome because we
We
don't
need it out
yeah,
here.
we don't have too many options out here as well as catering spaces, although we have some things on the horizon
Yes.
that the Griffin family I think is proposing, and that would be wonderful to be have choices.
Yeah.
Right.
What is a good phone number for you?
Go ahead, Michelle. Well, I'll give you my cell first, and then Michelle's going to give you our office.
Okay.
So if anybody has any questions, I can help anybody in any way, you just even say hi. I'd love for you to reach out and say, hey, Shy, it's 704 779-8834 is my direct cell phone number.
Okay.
Each client gets that. And Michelle's going to give you our office number.
Okay.
Yeah, so our main number for all orders and to get through to anyone here is 704-332-5521.
Great.
Can you both repeat that
Yeah.
for us? Our listeners need to hear it twice.
It's going to be 704-552-5521.
Okay.
And my direct cell, this is Shy again, is 704-779-8834. And I don't know if you want our emails or not, but
Sure.
that's something if you even want to text us, we can send that back, or we can give it to you now, whichever you prefer.
Why don't you put it out there?
Okay, sure. So my email direct is C as in cat, Miller, MILLER, at uptowncateringco.com. So C Miller at uptowncateringco.com.
Awesome. Margie's writing it down.
I
You
am.
made it in Margie's book. If you made it in Margie's book, you're doing pretty good. You're winning. You're winning today.
Mine is really easy. It's M. Hoffman, first initial, last name, M. Hoffman at uptowncateringco.com.
Got it.
Very
Those are
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. I know that when we talk about this catering world, it's a fun, fast-paced, exciting. Margie was telling me during the break about one of her episodes, I guess we'll call it, when she was catering, where they were serving 150 women, and the person delivering the food tripped and fell with 150 carrot soups. And she said,
It looks like we were at a bunny party and nobody was well.
She said it was a disaster. And I thought, oh man, what a visual that must have been.
Well, I went around with a new bottle of wine and kept saying, let me refill your glass of wine if it didn't have soup in it, and send me your cleaning bill.
Love it.
That's what you call pivoting.
And nobody complained. So I think again, as you say, it's service and your attitude.
Right. I think you can win people over with a smile and
Yes.
with your attitude for sure. And really if you knew Margie, that's her whole deal is, she runs a non-for-profit called Little Smiles that puts smiles on the face of children's facing a catastrophic health event in their life. And me at the Hope House, this is our show is right about putting hope back in the headlines and doing it with a smile. And I love your attitude, Shy. I love Michelle talking to you about, how enthusiastic you are. And it sounds like you both love what you do. And when you love what you do, it
do
shows.
it well. Yeah.
You do it well. And it shows in your work. And you really, word of mouth is the best way to, get business that way. And I'm delighted that you could be guests on the show today to introduce everybody to Uptown Catering. And I hope that you get some sales and some folks that are reaching out to you from Community Centered, from our listeners here. And
some happy tummies.
we wish you the best of luck. And I will be there tomorrow for those sweets. And I think I owe Bill. I'm getting the evil eye from.
Should I bring some coffee too, or just
No, that's fine. That's lovely. I appreciate it so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7 WS.